Guys, did you done the task? So, Ravi, Ramakrishna. So, what task I gave? Ansible? Ask her to write a playbook, right? You guys can, so yeah, you guys can write the playbook tomorrow. Okay? Today we'll discuss about the source code management tool. What is this, guys? So, what is source code management tool? So, this is the source code. What this is, guys? This is a source code repository. What is this? So, this is the repository where the developers are. What this? These are the developers. What this? Developers. Developer develop this code and push it to, guys. Developer develop this code and push it to the repository. Push it to the repository. Okay. So the code. What is this? So this is a source code. Source code repository. Yeah. Source code. These are the whatever the developer develop that code, right? That code will be stored it under the repository. So what these repositories are? So before we used SVN subversion. So subversion. So now we used Git. Okay. Now we used Git. So SVN is nothing but a subversion. So before we are using which one? So before we are using the subversion. So now we are using the Git. We are using the Git. So why they are moving from Git to SVN? This is a CVCS. This is the this is the DVCS. What is that? CVCS and DVCS. What is CVCS? Centralized version control system and distributed version control system. What is that, guys? So centralized version control system. Centralized version control system. Distributed version control system. What is that, guys? Centralized version control system, distributed version control system. Understood? This is the centralized version control system. This is a distributed version control system. So what is the difference between CVCS and DVCS? So what is the difference between CVCS and DVCS? So CVCS is nothing but a centralized version control system. DVCS is nothing but a distributed version control system. Who developed Git? Git developed by Git developed by who developed Linux? Linus. So the game Git also developed by the Linus Torvald. Who developed Git? Linus Torvald. Okay. So and he released as a CLI and open source. Okay. Released as a open source. So what are the differences between Git and SVN? What are the differences between Git and SVN? I will tell you guys. Okay. So this is nothing but a subversion control system. Subversion control system. So what is that, guys? SVN and Git. So Git who developed? Linus Torvald. Right. Say distributed version control system. Subversion. So this is a centralized version control system. Okay. So what is the difference between centralized version control system and distributed version control? What is this, guys? So source code management, the management of it. So the management of changes to the documents, computer programs, large website, and other collection of information will be. So centralized version control system, distributed version control system. So what is the drawback of centralized version control system? There is one remote repository. There is one remote repository, and so there is no local repository. Something like whatever the developer develop that code, right, directly push it to the server. So commit to update, commit to update, commit to update. Here something goes wrong on the server side, definitely the code will lose. The code will be lost. So that is the drawback in the distributed version control system. You see there is a one remote repository and the local repository also, so right. So we are whatever we are working on it, right, we will commit and update it to the local repository. From local repository to remote repository, so we will push the code and we will pull the code from local to from yeah from local to remote. You can push the code and pull the code. From your working copy to the local. So just to commit, update, add, commit, update, add, guys. Guys, understood? So if something goes wrong on the here, the code will be in the local repository. If local repository losses, the code will be in the remote repository. That is the a big advantage of distributed version control system. So who developed Linus Torvald and he released as a CLI command line tool and command line tool. Okay, Git. So he released as a open source and once the open source, right? So the code will be also freely available. So took that source code and created their own type of GUI remote repositories. GUI tools. What are those? What are those tools? Yeah. So he released as open source, right? The companies took that source code and created their own type of remote repositories. Their own type of remote repositories. So what are those? Those are Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. Okay. So Atlassian company created Bitbucket. GitHub, Microsoft acquired. Microsoft is acquired. So GitLab is some other company. So right. So took that source code and created their own type of GUI remote repositories. GUI remote repositories. Okay. Now you understood? What are those? GitLab.com, Bitbucket.com, and GitHub. GitHub.com. Yes, understood? These three are the not only these three, we have number of remote repositories, but these three are the most popular. Bitbucket, GitLab, and GitHub. Okay. Yeah. So we can create the account and we can copy the code here. So why we need a repository? For repository to copy the code and to update the code. So with the help of um, versions. With the help of versions. So we can create the version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. Right? Now our kids are now sorry. So now we can use either GitHub or a Bitbucket or a GitLab. GitLab. So guys, what you can do, you can create your own accounts on all these three repositories. Bitbucket repository, so Atlassian repository, that Big Bucket, Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab. GitHub and GitLab. You guys can create your own account. Yeah, that the three remote repository. So first you want to clone the data from remote repository to local repository. If you want to modify any code, modify the code and push uh, push it, and it will automatically deploy it on the production servers. it automatically deployed on the production servers. Guys, understood? Now Git, it is the repository. So for the first time, if you want to clone, you joined as a company. First, you want to clone the data. You want to clone the data. How you can clone it by using git clone command. So what is the command, guys? Git, yeah, repository. Clone the repos. So first time, use git clone. Second time, it will it will update the code by using git pull. So how to how to git pull update the code. Next, commit the code. Commit the code. Guys, understood? Yeah, first time clone, second time git pull or git push. So how to commit the code? Git pull is nothing but yeah, fetch also we can. Yes. Yeah. Here you see, right? These three are the hmm, for whatever it may be. If you HTTPS, you can use the HTTPS to clone the repository. SSH also we can use. Can create the SSH key and I have account, right? You see, guys. So this is my AWS material repository. This is the repository, my repository. So this repository is under GitHub. Repository is under GitHub. Okay. So these all are the so something like a branch. This is the repository code issues. So if you want to clone this AWS DevOps material, just to HTTPS clone or SSH clone or GitHub CLI. You go to the you can go to the any one of them. Mostly we can use the HTTPS clone. Okay, so we can clone the for the first time we are getting from remote to local. We can use the git clone command. So then after you can use git pull command, git push command. Okay, yeah. So this is a remote repository. Which remote repository this is? No, remote repository. This is which source code? So which yeah GitHub. The same way you guys can create your own repository in the Bitbucket and GitLab. GitLab already done, right? GitHub. Oh, so GitLab. This is a GitHub. You guys can create your own account on Bitbucket or GitLab. 1 second, guys. Yeah, guys, this is my GitHub repository. I upload all the documents in the GitHub only because of this is a source code management tool. We can use it for the so we can use it for QA team, or we can use it for a DevOps team. We can use it for a development team, whoever. Yeah, operations team. So whatever the code, infra code, Ansible code will be uploaded in the GitHub repository. For example, Ravi, Ramkrishna are working on the same company. So they want to update they are working on the Ansible. So whatever the code he wrote, right, or he write, that code will be pushed to the GitHub. The same code will the Ravi also wrote some code on the GitHub. He also pushed some code to the GitHub repository. Wherever you are working on the DevOps, or you are working on the Linux, or whatever it may be. They created a repository and push or pull the code, our team code, something like these all are the team code. The same way you guys can also create your own GitHub account. Okay, it's very simple, guys. It looks like a how to create a Facebook, how to create a yeah, the Insta account, same like guys. You guys can you guys can create the account. Okay. Yeah. So this is right. This is the remote repository. So this one already posted. Yeah, this one already posted, right? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. This is the new one. Yeah, Tulasi, are you asking something?
yeah, no, sir. Previous printing study, you have incorporated some information. The data
Hmm.
was not there.
Hmm.
By default, suddenly you deleted that.
Uh, what are the remote repositories, guys? Remote repositories are
GitHub,
GitHub,
GitLab,
GitLab,
Bitbucket.
Bitbucket. Okay, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. Yes, understood? Yeah. So these all are the remote repositories. So so Linus Torvald Git released as a CLI, right? This is the, for example, Git. What this is, guys? This is a Git. Who developed this one? Linus Torvald. He released as a open source. Open source, right? So this is the open source, right? Atlassian company took that source code and created their own Git called as a Bitbucket. These all are the CLI. What these all are the? These all are the CLI. Sorry, GUI remote repositories. GUI remote repositories. Is understood? Okay. So these all are the remote repositories. So you installed in our local system. For example, this is your laptop. So what this is? This is a remote repository. So this is the remote repository means, for example, GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket. These all are the remote repositories. This is the a local repository. So local repository is, for example, your laptop. So your laptop is a local repository. So right, you need to install here Git. So which one we need to install? You need to install the Git software. So if you want to create a local repository, definitely you need to install the Git. If you want to set as a local repository on our desktop or laptop. You need to install the Git software. Okay, so in the local repository, what are the commands? The local repository, what are the commands we need to use? We need to use the git add and the git commit. So if you want to push the code from, for example, this is your working copy. This is your working directory. So you developed the something, or you developed you updated some code, right? So if you want to know this code as a local repository, git local repository, definitely we need to go from working directly to the staging. So how it will go? It will go by using the git add command. Git add, for example, this is bluejay.txt. What is that? Bluejay.txt. I want to copy this. I want to send this file to the local repository. So first, this repository, this local, this this text file is doesn't know the local repository. Doesn't know the local repository. How it will know? First, we need to send it from the git add from staging area. Staging area. How you can send from working tree to staging area by using the git add command. What is the command? Git add bluejay.txt. So your file is so here from so you are working to staging area. Your file is untracked file. Which one? Untracked a file. So this is an untracked file. Once we move from working direct to staging area, so by using git add, now it is a tracked file. It is a tracked file, but Git doesn't know. Local Git repository doesn't know this file is a Git file. So how you can send it to the Git local repository by using the from staging area to local repository untracked to now the file is tracked. The file is tracked file, but it's not committed. The file is not committed. So once we commit the file, right? Git commit hyphen m is nothing but a message. Whatever the message you are pushing, and the file is bluejay.txt. So we are pushing the code from Git staging area to Git local repository. Now local repository knows the Git file. What is the file? Git bluejay.txt. So now local repository knows the bluejay.txt. I want to push this code from local repository to remote repository. Local repository to remote repository. For the first time we want to, for the first time we want to, first time we want to clone from the remote repository to local repository. From remote repository to local repository. What is the command? Git clone. What is the command, guys? Git clone is the command. Right. Whatever now the file is in our local repository. If you want to push from your local repository, remote repository, how you can push, guys? By using git push command. So what is this? From local to remote repository. So these git push and git pull work. Git pull work on the remote repository. Git push, git pull, git clone will work on the remote repository. Okay. The local repository, git add or git commit. So right, git checkout. What is git checkout? So right, the branch. This is the local. This is the repository. Repository is, for example, AWS, DevOps, DevOps batch. 50 is the repository name. This is a repository. This is the repository name. So in this repository, having branches. So the branches are something like a main branch. So the main branch is the main or master branch is the branches. Our code will be there in the main and master branches. So if you want to create the new branches, future or something like so if you want, now you are in the which branch? Now you are in the local main branch. You want to switch from main branch to future branch. So what is the command? Git checkout. Git checkout feature. Git checkout feature. The branch changed from main to future branch. Okay. So right, you wrote something and you merge the code from future branch to main branch because of you don't disturb the master or main branch because of your real-time data will be in the main or master branch. That is the reason you can create your own branch and update the code and review it and create a pull request and merge it. So create a pull request and merge it. So this yeah, so this is nothing but a git merge. Git merge, pull request, git checkout, git commit, git add, git push, git pull. Guys, now you got it? That's right? Yeah. Tulasi, understood, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, 1 minute, sir.
Hmm.
Normally, the master copy will be available in the central repository, right? So
Center.
from that, the developer or anyone can get the clone, right?
Clone. For the first time, we will use git clone. Git clone means we can download the code from remote repository, local repository.
Yeah, but here I have one small doubt, sir.
Hmm.
See, the master copy developed once the entire application will be developed and it is certified. That was moved to the central repository, right, sir? After that, is there any modifications or any developments may be happen?
Hmm.
Then only it is going to be cloned from the central repository to the local repository, right, sir?
Hmm.
Am I clear, sir? Right, sir?
Yes, very good.
So,
So this is
from
yeah. I got the clarity. I got your point. 1 second. This is the WhatsApp page. So WhatsApp first page comes into only chat and contacts. Okay. So in the remote repository or GitHub or GitLab, your entire code will be there. Which code?
for any
This code.
application, WhatsApp application.
For example, WhatsApp code. So this code, chat and contacts will be there. This chat and contacts will be in the which branch? Main branch. And this is deployed already. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Tulasi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you are trying to add another feature called as a status. What is the feature? What is the
Images
feature?
or images or anything short.
Status is the feature,
One of the feature, yeah. Okay.
one of the feature. So in this main, is the status code is there or not there? Not there, right? So
Yeah.
then what you can do, you can clone the main repository from remote to local. Then you can create a new branch, future branch. So future branch called as a status branch. And the status branch here you develop the code and send it to the local repository. How you can send it to local repository? A git add, git commit, and then you can merge the code from future branch to master branch by reviewing someone, either your lead or manager, whoever, because of the main contains the original code, right? Don't want to disturb the original code. You can create your own branch and write the code and ask them to review, then merge.
Yes, sir. So,
Understood?
yes, sir. But in this section, so
Hmm.
what is the role of your DevOps, sir? DevOps person?
DevOps. What is the
Because
role of DevOps?
because this was mostly dealt by the developer, right, sir?
No. So the DevOps people also using this code. Developer develop that code for this purpose. for developing the application. So for DevOps guys, you want to build the infra. Okay, Tulasi.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So how you can build your infra?
By using
Uh,
by
IAC,
providing some ISC tools,
uh,
Terraform.
Terraform. So you wrote the some code, right? Through Terraform. So where
No,
you
sir.
can save that code.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, my point is that
Hmm.
so any feature or any application will be developed by the developer, right, sir?
Hmm.
So the developer, because in this, what I understood by seeing this,
Hmm.
mostly this was done by the developer because he needs to be develop the code whenever the new feature may add. Again, he has to be work, so he has to be bring that get the clone from the master copy, and he will do. And after finishing that, again he will kept into the remote server, right, sir?
Yes,
So
yes,
here
yes.
most of the work is done handled by the developer. So my doubt is that in
Hmm.
this aspect, in this, what
Hmm.
is the role of a DevOps person?
DevOps group. Yeah, very good, very good. Good question. Right, a developer develop that code. Okay. Hello, Tulasi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So here you see developer develop that code. So what we will do? So once the developer develop that code, right? Once the developer develop that code, so we want to clone this code in the Jenkins server. CI/CD. What CI/CD? So whatever the developer develop that code, right? We can take it and build the code. Okay, here you see. So good the code, build the code. How you can build, compile, code review, unit testing, integration testing, and packaging. Who will do this? Our DevOps engineer. So where you can get this code from the GitHub. Okay. So from the remote repository, you can run a pipeline. Okay. You can run the pipeline. So this is the Jenkins server. What is this?
Jenkins, sir.
Jenkins servers. Jenkins server. So if you run one job, it will automatically get the code from directly get the code from main to the either that GitHub repository to the main. So now your code is in the Jenkins server. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the DevOps role to get the code from GitHub to Jenkins? You need to write the pipeline.
Okay. So I understood, sir. So mostly the DevOps person work starts from the GitHub.
Yes,
Yeah.
automate, right? I want to automate the
Yeah.
process. How you can
Yeah.
automate it? We can create a pipeline and get the code from a main to Jenkins server. Now your code is in Jenkins server. Then what you can do? What you can do? Build the code. Once you get the code, right? You need to build the code. So how you can build the code? First compile the code. Code is working fine or not. SonarQube. Code review. You can review the code by using JUnit or something like a right. You can review the code. Then unit testing, integration testing. Finally, package var or jar. This is CI. Okay. So what developers will do? CI, they will write the pipelines for CI. CI is nothing but a continuous integration. In the continuous integration up to var or build. So var file or jar file build up to var file and jar file building. This is the CI. In the CI, they will automate the process. The DevOps people automate the process this up to packaging or varying. Understood?
Yes, sir. So this is the next step after GitHub.
After GitHub, so we will start the Jenkins. Then you will
Okay.
understand.
These codes, matlab, git add and git pull, git commit, those commands also be used by the DevOps person.
Yeah, that's why I told you, right? So, so how you build your infra? Through Terraform. Okay. So something like you and Ramakrishna, Ravi, Kiran are working on the same team, infra DevOps team. So you are working under the infra building team, right? You
Okay.
wrote some code and Ravi wrote some code and Ramakrishna wrote some code and Kiran also wrote some code. They
Yeah.
want to send their code. How you can send? Where they can send? They even keep it under the OneDrive or Google Drive. No. So we can share our code to the GitHub repository. Okay. So for example, Terraform main. So
Yes,
whatever.
sir. Yes, sir. I got the point, sir. Yeah,
Mm,
I clearly got the point. So here, actually, a developer develop the code according to the application features. So
mm,
those features. So in order to build, matlab, as a DevOps person, he needs to be develop a infrastructure
mm,
through code. So
mm.
whatever code is developed by the each DevOps person, that will be the stored in the Git central repository.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes, so yeah, I got the point, sir. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you.
Got the point, right?
Yeah, I got the point. So he is not working on the application, matlab,
Mm, mm, mm,
only he works for on the infrastructure part.
mm.
Yes, sir, I got the point.
For example, Ansible. So Ansible, where you keep our Ansible files, you can keep our Ansible files in the remote repository.
Yes.
Yes, got it?
Yes, sir. So in the central repository, all the files, either it might be the Terraform or it may be Ansible or whatever it may be, whatever we use, all
Mm,
those will be the stored in the GitHub, matlab,
mm,
central repository.
mm. So for example, this is code, application code. Okay.
Yeah,
For example, this repository is using. You can create number of repositories in the GitHub. Okay. This repository using DevOps people. The other repository using QA team people. Okay.
yeah,
Understood?
yeah.
Got the point, right?
Yes, sir. So GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket both are all the functions has a similar, but they are different tools developed by someone else.
Yes. You
So
can create it.
according to the applications, each company use according to their.
It varies from company to company. For
Okay.
example, some companies are using GitHub, some companies are using Bitbucket, some companies are using GitLab. Okay.
So is there any scenario for a company use both GitLab and GitHub and Bitbucket at a time for the same purpose for
Yes.
same application?
Same application, they will use only
Only
one.
one. Okay.
Okay. For the same application, they will only one, but different project, right? For
Okay.
the so we have a different projects. So for that we can use.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For
Yeah,
that
got it.
we can use different tools. Understood?
Yes, sir.
You doubts? You're asking something, right?
No, sir.
Got
My
it?
doubt is clear. My doubt is clear.
Yeah. So you can create a repository and you can create number of branches in the repository. This is the repository. In the repository, you can create number of branches. Okay. Tulasi, understood?
Yes, sir. I got it.
Yeah. Guys, tomorrow we'll show you how to install the Git and how to create a how to create a account, GitHub account, Bitbucket account, and GitLab account, and we'll create a one repository, clone those repositories in our local. Okay, you guys can work simultaneously on all these three repository, remote repositories.
So
Then we will understand.
these are all free, no, sir.
Hmm.
They won't charge, no, because as
Mm-hmm.
a AWS.
Future. Hmm?
Yeah.
Future is nothing but if you want to include that code in the main. So directly don't want to create it. Changes are directly made in not made will not made in the main branch. You can create another new branch, whatever it may be, a future or a bug or whatever it may be branch. You can create it and you can modify the changes. You can merge the changes, git merge, right? For that purpose, in the remote repository, they use GitHub, they use a pull request, GitLab, they use a merge request, Bitbucket, they use a pull request. Okay. So you want to push the code from your new branch to main branch. That is nothing but a merge request. So what is a merge conflict? So we'll show you tomorrow. Okay, understood, guys? Now you got it very well, Tulasi, Kiran.
A bit understood, sir, but not very well.
Ah,
Yeah.
so source code management tool, introduction to version control system. Version control system need of version control system. So we'll show you tomorrow, guys. No worries. Okay. What is git clone? What is git pull? Git checkout? Git add? Git commit? Git push? I already told you, but we'll show you tomorrow. Okay. Yep, guys. Thank you.